Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here, and today you'll be forming mighty armies from humans, ogres, undead, demons, dark elves, lizards, and gnomes with powerful magic and a little bit of math. Kingdom Battle is a card game of strategy and adventure for 2 to 5 players. It takes 30 to 45 minutes to play. It's for ages 5 and up and published by Mind Inventions. Now it's on Kickstarter right now, so I'm going to show you how it works and I'll see you on the other side. This is a Kickstarter preview, so all the art and components you see here are not final. They're prototypes, so to see all the most up-to-date art and components, check the Kickstarter link in the description of this video. In Kingdom Battle, you're going to be forming armies from 7 different races. From left to right, top to bottom, we have the humans, the ogres, the undead, the demons, the lizards, and the dark elves. And lastly, there's the wilds, which are the gnomes. And one cool thing is, look at this, I have all the lizards out here numbered 1 through 12, and each of them have unique artwork for all the numbers and the different ones that are there. I think that's really cool, and it's like that for all of the different races. And at the bottoms of these cards, you can see that there's different classes of characters for fighting types. There's ones like warriors and rogues and berserkers and hunters and shadow knights and paladins. And on the magic types, there's some like wizards and mage, enchanters, clerics, druids, and shamans. Now, there's 2 types of cards in the game. There's characters that we already sort of talked about a little bit. There's a whole deck of those. But then there's a deck of action cards. At the beginning of the game, each player is going to get 5 characters and 2 actions. Now, these are always hidden in your hand, but I have them down on the table just to kind of show you the differences between them. Now, the object of the game is to have the most cards in your kingdom, and you'll win cards into your kingdom as you win battles. Turns go in clockwise order. On your turn, you're going to decide who to attack, and most of the time it's going to be the player to your left. I'll show you the exception to that later. Now, when that happens, you and the player that you're attacking will place a certain amount of cards face down in front of themselves. Let's say I place this, let's say they place that. You can place as many cards as you want with certain rules that I'll go over in just a moment, but you don't really tell them or show them how many, you just put a stack, so they might be able to see if there's 1 or more card in each of the stacks. So this is a stack and this is a stack. Each of us, in this case, just have 1 card. So let's just flip it over here to see a very easy example. Now, this player is the attacker, this player was the defender. Now you'll notice there's 3 different levels. If I'm the attacker, in level 1, this is a kind of 5, 10, and 20, whether you go from easy, medium, or hard. And the defender is 4, 8, or 16, depending if you're playing easy, medium, or hard. Now, easy is for kids 5 to 6, medium is for kids 7 to 8, and hard is for kids ages 9 and up. So depending on what level is playing, you can play at different levels. So in this very easy example, this was the attacker at 5, this was the defender at 4, this player would win. Now, regardless of what happens, say the player that wins gets to collect not only the cards that they played in their army, but the other one as well, and they're going to collect those and put them face down into a stack off to the side. That's going to be their kingdom. And again, you're trying to have the most cards in your kingdom, so let's look at some more examples. Both players played a set of 3 cards. The attacker played what's known as a unity attack, which is an attack of all the same colors regardless of number. And the defender played what's called a bond attack, which is cards of the same number but regardless of color. So here the attacker's going to add up the 5, and the 4, so they have 14, and they add up all their defense. They have 2, 2, and 2, 6, so this player would still win. They would collect all the cards. Now, there's some gnomes that could be wild. So in this case, this player could have played these 3 cards because this is wild. They can still play this type of defense here. So we've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They still would have lost, but just to show you how wilds might work. Now let's show you another type of attack. Let's say this attacker placed these cards like this. This is an alliance attack, and it's used sequential numbers. So 4, 5, 6, 7, for example. And this player did the bond attack, which was the same number, 1, 1, and the gnome is wild. So here, again, we're always just looking at level 1 here for right now. So we've got 3 plus 4 is 7, 9, 14. And then here, defense, we have 5, 10, 14, it's tied. If it's ever tied, the defender would win. They would collect all these cards and add it to their kingdom. Now let's start looking at what happens when you start adding action cards to it. So let's say the attacker did this. It's a unity attack of all the same colors. They have 5, 6, 7. They have a total of 8. This one has a defense of 5, but they added one of their action cards, double boost. You can select any one character and double the number of points. So this would be 10. So they actually would win this and be able to collect all these cards and put them in their kingdom. Just to be sure, it's only the characters that you put in your kingdom. The action cards get discarded. Now let's look at some of the other action cards. Now notice that they have little numbers here. So if multiple players play the same action card, the defender gets to do it first. Otherwise, you go from the smallest number up, and that's the order that they trigger. So let's look at what some of these do. This one adds a certain amount of points depending on which level you're playing. This one triples a boost. It's like the double boost, but it boosts any number by 3. This allows you to steal 2 characters from your choice from an opponent's army, and then you put them in yours. So, and it can be used all alone. The convert turns any character card to wild. Here you can swap all of your character cards from your army with the opponent's. Betray allows you to basically get a character from somebody else's army and put it right into your kingdom as if you scored it. And of course, it's also taking numbers away from them for the battle. Raise from the Dead is taking 2 random character cards from your kingdom and adding them to the battle. So you might get them back if you win, but if not, you're going to lose them to the other player's kingdom. And the Chicken Escape allows you to just escape. It's the only card you can play, but you just get out of there and the attacker still gets to take the cards that they had in their battle in their army and put it into their kingdom. Now, there's one more action card that I haven't shown you yet. It is called the Death Match. And this is where I told you that there is an exception that you don't have to attack the player to your left, and this is it. You get to choose an opponent to attack. Now, if you choose that opponent, they can play the Chicken Escape and not be in that. Now, when a death match does happen, both players in the battle put all of their cards, meaning all their characters and all their action cards out at the same time, and you just resolve them all. It is a huge death match. And then after that, you'll draw cards. Now let me talk about drawing cards, because at the end of your turn, even at the end of a normal turn, each player is going to draw 2 cards, and it's going to start with the defender, then the attacker. But the 2 cards they draw is their choice. They could draw 2 characters, 2 actions, or an action and a character. So you gotta be careful how many cards you're playing, because you're only drawing 2 at the end of each turn. Now, as an exception, if someone played all of their cards from their hand during battle, instead of drawing 2 cards, they get to draw the same as the starting hand, which is 5 characters and 2 of these. Now the game will continue until all the character cards are played, and then you'll finish that battle. And again, everyone's gonna count the number of cards in their kingdom, and the one with the most is the winner. And if there's a tie, the youngest player that's tied wins. Now there's a different way to win. You can play with what's called Challenge 2, which is instead of just counting the cards, you would sum up all the attack points on all of the cards for the level that you were playing, and whoever has the highest of that would win. It's just a different way to see who the winner is going to be. There's also a speedy mode, which instead of getting 5 character cards and 2 action cards at the beginning of the game, you get 6 character cards and 3 action cards. And now 9 is the maximum number of cards that you're able to hold at any time, where normally you have a hand limit of 7 of maximum cards. And again, it doesn't matter which ones they are, actions or character cards for that. If you're playing this speedy variant, after the battle, each player draws 3 cards instead of 2. So it makes the game go a little bit faster because you're starting with more cards and you're drawing more cards. In a nutshell, that's how you play Kingdom Battle. Well, there you have Kingdom Battle, and as I showed in the overview, it has multiple levels of difficulty for different aged children, with multiple lengths of the game and multiple ways to win. Now, if you'd like to see the most up-to-date artwork and components and all the different pledge levels available, you can click the link below me right in the description of this video, and that will take you right to the Kickstarter project page, and I'm sure that Mind Inventions would love your support.